Right, so now we're on to the brewing here. Got our malts just about ready to go, and you can see the two different hop types that I'm going to use. We've got the Fuggles here. We'll call those a semi-dry state. It's probably a good thing I'm using them sooner rather than later. I'm going to put them in pretty early. They're going to be the bittering hop, but for the aroma, I've got these which have been off the vine just about a minute. These gorgeous little smooth cone jobbies here. Not quite American Simcoe, but a bit less trademarked. Very, very adjacent to it though. So those are going to go in the end, right on the end, just for a bit of extra aroma boost there. So once this watched pot decides to boil, we'll get straight into that. Right, so my wort has finally decided to grace us all with a boil at last. So we're going to put in the first of the hops. So Fuggles first. In they go. Maybe not the whole lot, we'll stage it out a wee bit. Not just because I'll overload my little pot here. Mix them in. So if you're not familiar with the Fuggles hop, and you'd be forgiven, it's not too common these days. It's an old English variety, very old. Boy, Fuggles was probably new when Goldings was the one doing the real miles in the beer scene, and that's a very, very long time ago now. Fuggles was probably considered something of a rock star back then, but no longer. Now it is resigned more or less entirely to English ale styles, and even more than that, it's usually relegated to individual brew pubs or very niche craft producers, or very, very traditional producers. Your Mortons, your Green King, your old breweries like that. I'm not sure if it's used in the States at all. It was used down here in New Zealand for many, many years, but with the popularity of American hops taking off as it is, forwarding the IPA train as it continues to completely run away, they've gotten less and less, and as I said last video, they've all been now pulled out, I suspect, to make room for more Nelson Sauvin, which is our sort of, I don't know, our flagship hop coming out of New Zealand, I suppose. Nelson Sauvin is fine, it's not my favourite, but never mind. Fuggles though, the flavours they'll produce, think very earthy, spicy kind of flavours, not the crisp citrus pine that we're sort of used to in modern IPAs. They're much more, much more earthy kind of flavours there. So we'll have a wee try here, see if we're getting the desired result. Yep, can confirm, bitter. Well, it's tasting pretty good actually. Juicy. Alright. I think we're about ready, in that case, for some aroma hops. And they're only going to be in there for a hot minute. In fact, I'm going to turn my gas off. I don't even think I want those to be boiled so much. They're just going to bounce off this beer, because I want to preserve as much of those lovely aromatics as I can. Was I doing this a bit more professionally, I would dry hop, which is a bit of a misnomer for multiple reasons, and it only gets worse when you're using fresh hops, but that's when you have hops in the fermenter, even in the keg sometimes, so hops that are interacting with the beer when it's not even boiling. So I daren't do that, because I will have desperate problems with sterility if I do. I'm just bound to get an infection if I put stuff in there, because I won't be able to drink it all in time. So, wish me luck. Here comes the Simcoe. These really are just the most beautiful hops. The season was so good for them. It was such a long, well, comparatively, and such a hot, dry summer that they've had just everything they wanted. We have good groundwater here, close to the water table, so they are a plant that likes a lot of water to grow, and these ones are in fact specially bred to be a little bit more resistant to water on their roots than not. They typically want a bit more drainage than we have in my part of the country, but they have just had an absolutely epic year, so very pleased. So we'll let those do the business while the beer cools down. And I have a very primitive thermal exchange system set up, which is tantamount to a tub of water. In fact, it is a tub of water and a hose, and we'll just do the best. Important to cool your beer down as quickly as you can to get some nice clarity out of it and not having to leave it there, potentially oxidizing the whole time. There we go. Okay, so we'll move this into the water and we will see how we go. So that's all for this one. Check back in for the, I guess when we've got a bit of a fermentation on, I'll take a wee shot of that. And finally, maybe closer to the other side of this thing, well, me and Dave will have a wee go, taste it on the channel, smuggle some over for him. He's only on the other side of town, I'll manage. So, yes, check back.